filming this bit with the guy sort of stomping along, singing the song late at night, I love that because that's one of the best experiences of how to listen to Suede that I think I have done since I was about 16, and I expect many Suede fans have as well. What were you trying to convey with that?
On one hand, we wanted a little bit of a lighter moment in the film, but it's not heavy on lightness. It was the kind of blind optimism that he might be able to do something to change his life, really.
Which is again a nice contrast, because it's not necessarily what's going on in the lyrically in the song, is it? So.
The song is kind of, I think it's quite unusual. It doesn't musically. It's not really like anything we've done before,
No,
is it? I think it's kind of
almost funky.
Yeah, it kind of treads dangerously close to sort of funk, which is a horrible place to be treading dangerously close to for us. But it's sort of we're always very aware of not stepping over the line, kind of thing. It's got that kind of skip to it. But hopefully it doesn't sound like we're, trying to do soul or something like that, which would be awful.
We weren't referencing anything in particular, but I think we were aware of, a record like, I suppose, Station to Station, where you try and have something a bit more, the beat's a bit more jagged, but also very mindful of the way Simon and Matt play.
I quite like those. I quite like those things like Another Brick in the Wall and
Off Some Girls,
Miss You. You know what I mean? Those things where they've obviously listened to disco records, but they haven't made a disco record. You know what I mean?
Well, there's some fundamental part of the puzzle they haven't got right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes it sound good.
But there's something quite good about that. It's kind of quite stiff-legged, but at the same time, it's kind of just driving.
It's almost awkward when the rhythm starts. I mean, I remember we had quite a lot of trouble at the beginning, didn't we?
Well, it's also very slow for that kind of track.
It is actually, yeah.
You know what I mean? Normally, if you had that kind of beat, you'd be at 120.
But then Neil came up with a keyboard part that I think really held the verse together, and that made a huge difference for me. It's one of those things that it's so enjoyable when you're making a record that a part suddenly appears that isn't designed. It's just, well, how about this? It's like, yes. It's like, reminds me of that synth on Trash. It just pulled everything together, and I love that song. I think it's
probably
really
sing along as well.
The melody in the chorus is one of the best melodies for me on the record. It's such a great vocal hook. And again, it's a bit different from what you normally do.
It's quite a schizophrenic song. It's like what we were saying about the verse is one thing, then it kind of opens up into a pop song in the chorus, and it's again like a lot of the songs on the record. They kind of it changes, and the feel of it changes. So you get these kind of slightly schizophrenic moods that keep appearing and disappearing.
Yeah, the end is another. I mean, again, it's a classic Suede end, really, I suppose.
The ending of this, although we didn't deliberately do it like that, was the end of this and the end of Don't Know How to Reach You are kind of similar kind of musically, although not if you when you first hear it necessarily, but they're kind of in this similar kind of sound worlds, and it helps kind of knit those songs together. And
there's a great talky bit, Brett. I was like those.
The talking bit, yeah, that came quite late actually. We were sort of.
Was that your idea, Ed?
No, it was Brett, wasn't it?
I either wanted to leave it as an instrumental section.
Yeah, it didn't sound tough enough to be an instrumental section, so it kind of drifts off into this kind of dreamy bit.
That was a really fun vocal to record because you really got in character for that in a different way than you normally do. I think.
Yeah.
You actually approached it almost like theatre. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to record because it's so difficult with pop music, because as much effort as you could put into the backing and getting all the things right, if it's not brought together by the singer, then you're just left. It destroys, bizarrely, all that effort you put into recording it. And I think that song was really turned around by the vocal for me. It just suddenly gave it this energy.
It was quite a hard bit to get right, actually, that talky bit, because I was very conscious of it kind of coming across as pretentious. I sort of didn't want that, but at the same time I just wanted it to do something. I was very singer talking on a record. It kind of can be rubbish, And I'm a singer, not a talker. So it's actually sort of new. Actually, quite hard to get it right. I'm not kind of used to. I don't know how to control my speaking voice like I know how to control my singing voice. It's got a different character, but it sort of seemed to work. So
I think you should always be dangerously close to pretentious, shouldn't you? You should always be walking that line. I mean, the meaning of the word is it's about kind of biting off more than you can chew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I think
reaching
you should,
too far.
you should always aim for that. Always aim for pretentious.
What was the character you were sort of inhabiting in that? I'd say it was like theatre.
I don't know. I don't really know what I was trying to, what character I was trying. I mean, the song's kind of almost like it's supposed to be a sort of a message to my little boy. It's supposed to be like kind of talking to him sort of down the generations when he kind of is old enough to understand. So kind of like a conversation with him. So it's about, you know, it's just an idealised sort of romantic vision of, you know, I can't describe what that bit is supposed to be. It just sort of seemed to work. So I wrote something, you know, deliberately kind of quite odd. So.